Hey guys, this is Grace and welcome to the first layout for this mini series using paper scraps and also scrap lifting myself. So this layout is based off of a page that it was published sometime, I believe it was like 2007, and the page was actually for a winter one, but I am doing a summer. Why I decided to use this particular page for inspiration was because of the techniques that I had used for that particular layout, as well as the design itself. So the design, as you can see, is very minimal, and I've noticed that during my stint as someone that was getting published, a lot of my pages that were being picked up was had very minimal design, and I think it has to do with that the magazines wanted to show pages that doesn't seem daunting or overwhelming for somebody that just is just starting in scrapbooking or something like that. So that was kind of the theme or the design of the page. So I'm going to kind of copy that, but as I said in my intro, kind of make it more 2019. So I'm going to be using some of my go-to designs as well for that I use nowadays, to make it a little bit fresh for myself. So in the beginning, I was auditioning background papers. The inspiration page had a background pattern paper rather, and then a white cardstock as as the base or the foundation of the rest of the page. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I auditioned a few papers and ended up with this wood grain. It had some numbers on the center, and I've been hoarding that paper from Simple Stories for a long time, but I decided, you know what, there's no time than the present to use it, and so I just gutted the inside so I can use the back side of it, which is kind of a polka dot paper. I can use that for another page, but at least I am able to use up this paper that I have been lovingly hoarding but never really used. So in the inspiration page, there were 4 photos as well, but they had smaller photos, smaller than this, and I think they were vertical. I don't have that magazine. Shoot, I should get that magazine right in front of me so I can know what I'm referring to. But the photos were smaller, and but they were 4, and so I kind of have to configure my photos a little bit smaller, so trimming them down so that it will fit the space that I had wanted. And then um, on the left side of the page was the title, the journaling block, and the journaling block was a die cut. And because I don't have that specific die cut anymore, I am going to make my own. And thankfully, I have a labels die from Spellbinders. That's a nestability die, and that's what I'm going to be using for that side. Now, the design of the inspiration page also had some circles that was going in 3 different parts of the page, and I'm going to mimic that with this circle. Now, one of the things that I loved about that page was that I created my own flowers using using some papers and then also some yarn. And I didn't have a yarn that I had wanted that would match this particular page, so I ended up using some crochet thread, and I love the results. And so now I have this die. I don't know what it's called. It's not a hexagon, but it's some kind of a shape die from. Ooh, I don't know. I'm so bad. I should have like papers to remind me about this because I've done this page a long time ago, so I've forgotten what I used. But it was a die that I have, and that's what I'm going to turn into kind of a flower and wrap the yarn around it. So now I've die cut all of the shapes that I wanted. This is a really good thing to use your scraps with, is if you wanted to die cut shapes with it, because the shapes that you want are small enough that you can use really small papers for, and that's what I'm doing here. And another thing that I loved about the inspiration page was that it looked very monochromatic. It had just blues and whites, and there was a little bit of green from the photos, and a purple, I think, in one of the photos because I had a purple jacket, but the design or the papers that was used for making the page was very monochromatic with the blues and then whites, and so that's what I'm recreating here. Although the interesting thing to add was that the inspiration page, the theme of that was very was snow, and that's why it was blue and white. um, but this page that I'm creating is actually summer. So that was one of the things that I wanted to emphasize with this scrap lifting series, is that you can copy yourself or copy somebody's page, not necessarily in the same theme or even in the same season. I have learned that you just gonna if you focus on the colors, that you can mix up your papers or your themes to match whatever you're documenting, and they don't, like, you don't have to be put yourself in a box where, you know, if you have blue and white paper, that you're only going to use it for snow or winter or something like that. As you can see, this one's summer, but I used it because of the kind of bluish green of the pool of which the photos were taken in. Speaking of photos, so again, these are photos from summer, and I'm documenting basically the first time that my little guy went into the pool. Um, my in-laws have a pool in Southern California, and so every time we visit there, which lately it's been summertime, that the kids would play in the water. And so my youngest one at this time was about 11 months old, and this was his first time to be in the water except the tub. He was born in Colorado, so as you can see, we don't have beaches here. We do have lakes, but we never got around to going to the lake. So this was his first water experience, and he was kind of hesitant in the beginning. But, you know, after kicking his feet and realizing that this felt like just like the tub at home, that he was okay with it. He did, one thing that he didn't like was the water going on his face, and, you know, my older kids were splashing water on him, you know, just because they thought it was fun, but it wasn't fun for him. Anyway, so now I've kind of established where the rest of the items were. I did not adhere my um, journaling strips just yet, but I will do that in a little bit. Now this time around, I am going to create my accents. Again, like I said, the inspiration page, the string that was wrapped around the embellishments was yarn, but I didn't have one that would work with my particular color scheme, and so I went with some embroidery thread instead. And I used yellow because my son's swimsuit wetsuit it's actually more green, but it's kind of yellow green, so I went with the yellow just because I had it in my stash. And then I'm pulling out these kind of wood grain looking stickers from Echo Park, and just going to spell the title, which is Summer Fun. And I'm going to put that on the top, and I'm actually using the photos to kind of help me with the placement of it, just so that the line will be straight. Now, like I said earlier, the inspiration page was very, well, in my eyes now in 2019, it was very simple. And so because I wanted this to be more like my style at 2019, I am adding a few more colors. So it, even though in my mind I wanted to be monochromatic, I am just accepting the fact that I love color, and this is gonna have more than two colors in it. It is what it is, but I love how it turned out. And I love how looking at our old pages kind of, and recreating it to fit our style now, makes it gives us it provides it gives me specifically kind of a new way of looking at those pages. And I think that's the beauty of you know, just looking at our pages or even looking at other people's pages, is now that we know how to create, we look at it, we kind of dissect it in a way, okay, what can I take out of this, and what can I pull out of it and spin it to fit my own style. So don't be afraid if you see a page and you think, I really love that, but I don't want to seem like I'm just copying. Just take little bits and pieces from your inspiration and then turn it and use it to match your style. And so because the sticker sheet had a few more elements to it, I wanted to add that. I did pull out a sticker sheet, a 12 by 12 cardstock sticker sheet from Echo Park as well, that had a lot of summer images, and it was summer themed, so I added that as well. And here I am just kind of looking what else I added. Again, like I said, initially I had wanted to be a monochromatic one, but I couldn't help these flip-flops. They were just so adorable, and so I'm going to add that to this page, just figuring out where it's going to go, and it's going to end up on the top. Now that I'm looking at the video, I think it would have been okay just being on the bottom, but it's all right. I think it balances the spread of the multicolored pieces spread around the page, also makes it look balanced and cohesive. So that is basically my page. If you have any questions, make sure that you leave it in the comment section below. I will have some close-ups at the end of the video, and I hope that I will catch you guys when I share my next video for this series. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.